Welcome to Watch and Complain. I'm Phil. This is Rob.
I can introduce myself.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
I'm Phil.
I'm Rob. Wait.
I'm Phil.
No.
See? Just have to keep on introducing myself.
Editing is going to be fun. Today, Moon Knight, episode 1. It finally came out.
Yep. Sure did.
I'm excited. Are you?
So we have one of these.
That's when you tell me like you didn't watch it.
Oh, I watched it.
All right, so I've actually divvied these up, and what we're going to do first is plot by memory.
Also, in my notes, can you tell me what I recorded the name of Moon Knight as?
Poon Knight.
Oh.
Thank you, Rob. In case you're wondering, what's in front of us might be cut off, but we keep reaching for Reese's Pieces, a bunch of the different flavors, and you've got your coffee Cokes, and we did all that on canyoutastit.com.
Dick.
But we're talking about Moon Knight.
Yeah. I'd rather talk about tasting dick, to be honest.
Okay, so
Okay,
Moon Knight is about
a guy whose name is Steven. Okay, here. A guy whose
not
name is
Stephen Strange.
Not Stephen Strange. Stephen Allen or something. I don't remember. Whatever. Who cares? But Stephen, played by Poe Dameron. And he works in a museum gift shop. And it's he works a lot with the, or he knows a lot about ancient Egypt. Mm-hmm. And he's having little mini strokes. And then he comes back and he's, stroking out and stroking in is what I was referring to
We call
it
them
as.
night terrors.
Yeah, right. But they don't happen just at night. Right? Remember he's driving
That's
the car.
true, yeah.
So, but you get set up for the idea that he's only having night terrors, which is why we see him chaining himself to his bed.
At first, you're like, what kind of sexual things are going on here?
You might have been doing that. I was going.
This coming from you.
So I was watching on my computer, and I'm like, how much is left? Okay. And literally, I want to say 15 or 16 seconds would go by, and I pull it to how much is left? All right. How much is left? So then,
Really?
So Stephen Dameron says he has a vision where he sees Ethan Hawke in Boyhood saying, I'm going to tip the scales on you, and you have to know if you're good or bad. And then some people die or whatever. And then Steve Dameron has a fight in the truck, and then he goes back to his house, and someone calls him on the phone and calls him Mark, and he says, "What'd you call me?" And then he goes back to work. Or no, then he goes out for a steak dinner, but he finds that it's 2 days after he was supposed to go to the steak dinner with this girl. And then he goes and sees a big monster that looks like
that
the
gets
Grim
crazy,
Reaper.
yeah.
And then he sees him on a bus, and then he goes to a bathroom, and then Poe Dameron, who doesn't have the little Rebel Wilson accent, says, "Poe Dameron, let me fight him." And he goes, "Okay, you fight him." And then they destroy the bathroom, and then you see something, I guess, is Moon Knight, and then the episode ends.
Kind of in the way that I destroy bathrooms sometimes. But
When I drop my scarabs off. But, okay, so right out of the gate, dude, this accent, the first fucking thing I wrote down, I was, dude, this accent, give me a fucking break.
that's pretty
Because it's bad, and it's the way that Oscar Isaac is playing it up is, it's not funny. I keep on calling him Poe Dameron, but Oscar Isaac is a wonderfully talented actor, but I don't think he's very good at ad-libbing or what's the word I'm looking for? Improv. And there's so many scenes where he's like, "Oh, I got that. Oh, oopsie doodle. Oh, I'm so sorry. I dropped me names in the basic ball." Like,
Yeah, it comes off as someone who's trying too hard.
yeah, don't do that, dude. When you switch over to the Moon Knight guy, the one fucking time you see him in the mirror, I'm like, do that. That's good.
He's just calm, collected.
And he's like,
Yeah.
not sinister, but he's like, yeah, exactly. Like calm and collected, like, dude, shut your shit down. I'll take care of it. That's fun to watch. But this fucking bumbling ass, it was nails on a chalkboard to me. It was like, he really sounds like he's either doing a really bad impression of Eddie Redmayne, or I was like, he sounds like someone, and I can't figure it out. Then I figured out it's fucking Rebel Wilson. It's the girl, the bigger girl who's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
He's trying to sound like Rebel Wilson. And it's so bad. And any of the attempted comedy is just so bad. So that right out of the gate, I'm like, oh, this is hard to watch. And
I got you there. I would like it more toned down. Sure.
I don't like Ethan Hawke. He's not a good actor. He's a fine placemat. Like he's like a placeholder. He's like cool to be there. Like if you need someone to stand in, and then someone better comes in.
So you mean Disney Plus villain that doesn't go anywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not villainous. I just he was just one of those guys.
The other actor that is going to be his helper.
I just remember Ethan.
He was
Ethan Hunt. Ethan Hawke.
The guy who is in the gold, the trophy, not trophy, statue guy.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
He's going to be like
It's not Bill Nye, is
a
it?
helper or something. I thought it was like a similar looking dude to the guy you just mentioned, but
Yep. That guy
But I think he's older.
with the shirt.
I think he showed up in the end of the show. Maybe I'm wrong.
Also, I do like that. So when Ethan Hawke is saying, "Oh, here, tip the scales," and we see the little scale tattoo and it tips, this 500-year-old woman dies, and you're supposed to go, "Oh!" I'm like, dude, she's 1,000 years old. What the fuck do I care if she dies or not?
He doesn't mean an actual 1,000-year-old person. It was
also,
just an old person.
Yeah, and I just put down again the ad-libbing, the improv is just awful. Especially when he's doing it with Ethan Hawke, and he's like, "Oi, what do you mean, governor? Oh, me fingers are holding together, governor. I can't give you this scare." I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
like this is so unfunny and uninteresting because you know where that scene
I
goes.
was trying too hard.
Boring. Also, this trope is so fucking dull. How many times is he going to stroke out and stroke back in? Ooh, I'm confused. Oopsie doodle.
It's going to be the whole series.
But I was like, okay, guys, 2 or 3 times, we got it. You know what I mean? We know that's what happens to him. Start doing something more inventive.
That's the fun.
It's not fun.
Yeah,
when you've done it 2 or 3 times,
he
that's
freaks out
fun.
when he comes back and he's not in control or what.
No, 2 or 3 times, sure. 5, 6, I think by the last time it happens in the truck, it's been like 6 times. And I'm like, dude, I get it. Stop doing that. And then I realized, like, you know what? Marvel movies or in TV shows, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing because clearly they're very successful. They aren't. They don't want to be inventive. They want to keep on doing the same thing. So when you sit down and watch it, it's like watching a sitcom. You're like,
yeah.
I know what I'm expecting. I know what I'm going to get. I'm not going to expect anything different. But for me, I'm just like, I'm tired of the same fucking trope. And then one thing I realize is, nobody's seen on this podcast, I have a huge 125-gallon fish tank. Who needs a fish tank as big as he has for fucking single goldfish? Nobody has a fish tank that big for a goldfish.
I thought the goldfish would come into play as like
I think it's still
a watcher.
Will. I think it might, but I'm like, again, it's a stupid thing, but this is what I look at. I look at stupid things.
The goldfish, probably someone at the museum
is watching to keep,
is the
keep
watcher,
track of.
yeah.
And it was funny. So it's funny you say that
helper.
because I was like, okay. He starts stroking in, stroking out, having night terrors. Very first thing I do, and I feel like it's a trope that's really common, is you record yourself. So you'd be like, okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get a camera and see what I'm doing in the middle of the night. Funny how he hasn't done that. And I was like, are they just not getting there? Or are they just not figuring that out? I'm like, no, because he's already got people watching him. So we're going to rely on what he's happening when he's stroking out from his goldfish and from Bill Nye, the silver guy, and all that shit, right? That's who we're going to rely on for what's happening when he's stroking out and turning into Moon Knight. Whenever action happens, this stupid accent, unfunny, oh my whoopsie doodle comedy is it's killing all of my enjoyment. As soon as he goes into that accent, I'm like,
he's going for that goofy British
and it just
thing, and it's just not.
It doesn't work at all.
If it was more calm, like he could still be like oopsie, like not say oopsie doopsie and all that
but
stuff.
It feels like he's saying that sometimes. How he calls his mom ladies gators. I'm like, dude, fuck off. It'd be funny if he's very if they were trying to do it as he's very effeminate. Like maybe if he was a very effeminate guy.
Well, is that part of the show in terms of like he is a created facade. So they want him to be over the top, so no one expects him. He's like Clark Kent. They want him completely different.
Also,
Bad example, but
who's the other person like him in the Marvel universe? None. There's no other characters like this. Oh my gosh! Oh, Miss Mystic Rocky in real life, but like, there's nobody else like that guy. So I get it. It's grating to watch it, and for me, it bothers me. Like, if it was a guy like I said, like Eddie Redmayne, who was this oopsie dude. Oh, I've dropped me governor. And then when he switches, he turns to Poe Dameron. That'd be cool. You know what I mean? But it's Poe Dameron as the goof. I'm just like, I'm not buying it.
I think you have to have a certain perfection at that kind of comedy to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Mr.
he's
Bean,
right? No, that's
it's a
fucking
different play
perfect
on it,
example.
but,
Like Rowan Atkinson is a master of never speaking and selling the whole thing with his body. You watch any of the fucking Blackadder stuff. Him, Hugh Laurie, Stephen Fry, they're all amazing at that. And Oscar Isaac is a wonderfully good actor, but this is just not his forte. And I wish he wasn't doing it, because hopefully the show will go better. I won't say that I absolutely hated it. I didn't hate it. I was just bored. And I was like, dude, get to the fucking point.
One thing I disliked was the CG.
Also, I apologize. I keep on fucking burping because you're feeding me so much coffee.
I give you carbonation. I hated a lot of the CG. It was very. It's like when it comes to Disney Plus shows, they
use the
kind of
E-team?
like exactly, outsource it to another company and only keep it within a certain amount of money.
Yeah, I didn't find it that distracting, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
and you can see that in other shows too. Like they did a lot for the first one, which was WandaVision.
Yep.
But as we're going forward, it's like they're spending a little less.
I feel like maybe the reason for that is these shows aren't as reliant on an upcoming movie as WandaVision is, because WandaVision's whole setup goes into Doctor Strange.
That explains Loki too.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the CG that went into the other shows, why it was a little subpar was because it's not going to be a huge part of the universes that are coming out afterwards. Mm-hmm. But no, for me, I didn't hate it, but I didn't enjoy it. I really hope they get rid of this Poe Dameron's Eddie Redmayne character.
I will say I really enjoyed it. I think if I were to give the first episode a rating, it would be a good 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. That's usually my go-to number. But
I guess also, though, I don't care about Moon Knight. I don't know who he is, and I don't care about him. And this is where Marvel usually does a great job. Like, they showed you Iron Man. I don't give a fuck about Iron Man. I don't give a fuck about Captain America. And I was like, shit, by the end of it, dude, I'm rooting for Captain America and Iron Man. So maybe the same thing will happen with Moon Knight.
Yeah, it worked really well with Loki.
Yeah, sure did.
It did for me.
I'm looking forward to it being not great, but
You're hopeful but pessimistic.
Yeah, but best way to put it. Hopefully, it's not as shit as Hawkeye. Hawkeye was terrible, right? Of all of them that we've seen so far, Hawkeye was awful.
There were good points in it, but
most of it was boring. And you could tell he did not want to be there. That was the worst part of Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner clearly doesn't have any interest to fucking be there. Yeah. But with this one,
just like Hulk dude in that movie we just watched.
What am I getting paid? How much do I get paid? Okay, great.
Looks like he's in pain the whole time.
But Oscar Isaac looked like he was having a good time. He just, dude, you got to drop this fucking stupid accent. Stupid. So
we're gonna keep on watching.
That's fine. It'll just be. I watched it today. What time is it? I watched it.
It'll be a 5-minute episode next week.
6 hours ago. So and you were like, "Have you watched Moon Knight yet? Have you watched Moon Knight?" I'm like, "Nope. I'm waiting till the fucking very end to watch this television program." And not terrible, but for me, it's a 5. This one so far is a 5. Didn't knock my socks off. I was a little grating at the start. I like the Moon Knight reveal. Like when he turns around and it's a cool look, but I'm like, I don't care who Moon Knight is. Hopefully that turns into something that I care about.
It was less CG than I thought it would be based off the trailer.
Yep.
I think the trailer, when it first came out, that first trailer was like half done.
It was just flip, 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 and I was like, "What the
we
fuck?"
quickly need some Moon Knight footage, and it was like, what's one of the scenes where he jumps over the buildings, and
Yep.
it just looks so stupid, like old school
And
Daredevil
you're like,
movie.
You're like, what's happening? What I like, it's like there's a song in the background, and then he's jumping. Oh, I'm hooked up to my thing. And they go, "Ball Croc is good," and you're like, "What's?" There's no. Like, usually the trailer is supposed to give you maybe a little sense of a character or a plot or something or a story. You're like, I don't have a clue what this is about. It could be a fucking art house project where it's just fucking Oscar Isaac going, ooh, the whole time. That could have been what it was from that fucking first trailer.
They know they have people. It doesn't matter. To them, it's like, release the first episode, that'll get people talking.
Yep.
But, like, personally, I love that end museum scene with all the
It feels so done before for me.
yeah, probably, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it's it's fine. I'm not gonna say it's terrible. It's fine. It feels done. I stop breaking the table. I'd rather
Every time I sit on it.
something. That's why I'm really looking forward.
You want one of these to be like really thought out well, a great story.
It's not even that. I
James
love
Gunn.
I love the idea of Sam Raimi doing Doctor Strange, and why I like it is because
Morbius did so bad,
it was a fucking #1 at the box office,
which is so weird.
right? But no, sorry. My point is Sam Raimi.
That was our Morbius review.
Yeah, right. Don't go see it. Not going to see it. Done.
We'll review it once it hits digital.
Sam Raimi is such a ludicrously talented director. Yeah. And Disney, especially Marvel and Disney, they want everything cookie cutter. It's got to fit into the universe. So it was either these two, and Sam Raimi hasn't directed anything for 10 years. Okay, he directed the pilot episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead, but he's been producing, he's been directing nothing. So they drive a boatload of fucking money up to him and say, direct this Marvel movie. And it's not like he's fucking down on his luck. So he was like, okay, I'll direct it if I can do it my fucking way.
Yeah.
And without the way you throw at Edgar Wright, without the way you bring in this Mark Webb stooge that directs all the Spider-Man shit, I want it my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And they either said, yup, or they drove 3 more boatloads of money and said, no, do it our way. That's what I want to see. Is Sam Raimi compromised and not compromised, but you know what I mean? Was his vision compromised to make a Disney movie, or is this fucking Sam Raimi's version of Doctor Strange? And I'm like,
that's what
I'm excited about it.
I miss from the commentary tracks of DVDs.
It's true. Yeah, I was talking to my sons about
that
commentary
anymore.
tracks. Yeah, we were talking about
Ghostbusters was a good one.
I think we were talking about The Simpsons, because The Simpsons shows came with commentary by a bunch of the cast. Groening was on everyone. The Futurama was Groening and David X. Cohen. And it's so much fun listening to them talk about the show. So I do miss commentary tracks of stuff. What would you say the best commentary you've ever listened to of a movie is?
I honestly, I was just thinking, trying to remember the title of it. It's a wrestling / what's his name from Scream?
Wes Craven?
No, what's
The actor?
The actor.
David Arquette?
David Arquette.
Oh, yeah. Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble.
Yep.
Thank you. Best, because, and like I'm, not compromised. I'm
Bisexual.
okay. I love wrestling, so I'm biased.
I'm compromised.
But I thought like they just had fun during that commentary track. They just like, who cares? Like, we just say whatever we want.
That's the same. If you ever listen to, so one of the most fun ones I've ever listened to was Eddie Griffin in Undercover Brother. By the end of it, it's great. He's like, I don't know why anyone's listening to this commentary track. It's not like you're going to learn anything from it. He says, he goes, oh, you people thinking you can be directors listening to commentary tracks? You don't know jack shit. And oh, God, it was funny.
But the payday on that, because he just has to come in, sit down, and start talking over a movie that he was in.
Same with Paul Thomas Anderson. He did commentary track for Boogie Nights. And he's just getting progressively drunker on
Nice.
it. It was quite fun.
That was our take on Moon Knight, episode 1. Next week we will have episode 2.
What was his episode called?
Oh, I didn't write that down. I'm
I think
sorry.
it was called something about a goldfish.
Something that could have worked.
I think it was actually the goldfish seas or something. What the goldfish
The
seas.
goldfish The gold statue. Was there another gold? Was like someone
That
in
guy
the
was
museum
silver,
in
not
gold?
gold.
Oh, was he?
In the start, he was fucking silver. That's why he was Bill Nye the Silver Guy. Maybe he's going to turn into the Silver Surfer. Is he? Yeah, he's Marvel. Maybe he'll be the Silver Surfer. And then Oscar Isaac can be like, "Oh, my crocky made him get it wrong, me dingoes and the didgeridoo." He became Australian.
Watchandcomplain.com.
Can you taste it?
No,
Coke.
that was
Shut up.